Hello, everyone. I am so glad you are all here again today for this. Today, I have with me a couple Bibles, like a grown-up kind of Bible in the Jesus Storybook Bible, which I love. How many of you have Bibles in your homes? I bet most of you do, if not all of you. So the Bible is God's special book, and it tells us about God's big rescue plan for us. It also reminds us of how we should obey God, and it also tells us what we should do as Christians, what we should do to serve God. Now, in the book of Galatians, in the adult Bible, we'll call it the adult Bible, in the book of Galatians, that's a funny name, isn't it? Galatians. How many of you have heard the word Galatians before? Well, that's a book, one of the books in this big Bible here. In the book of Galatians, it says, every time we get the chance, not just once in a while or when we feel like it, but it says, every time we get the chance, let's work for the good of all, starting with the people closest to us in the community of faith. It says, every time we get the chance, which means for us, the community of faith, it means we should be doing things for our fellow family members in our Seymour Church family. Seymour Church is a family of faith. We share our faith in Jesus, and people who go to church are like family with us. They should be loving and caring for each other just like your family does to each other, right? So, what's this? It's my hand, right? What are some good things a hand can do? Well, a hand can clap if something's really good. A hand can wave to somebody. Hey, all you guys out there, how you doing? A hand can wave. Hands can pray. Fold your hands and pray. They could color in a coloring book. I love coloring, can do that. They can hold an umbrella if it's raining. Hands can open a door for someone if someone's coming through. There are many people in our church family that use their hands to help others in our church. And there are also many ways that we can all use our hands to help one another at church as we share God's love. Now I have a bin down here, and in this bin I have some objects that people use with their hands to help others in our Seymour family. Let's see what some of these are. Here's a set of keys. This is my keys, and those of you who know I'm a Cubs fan, I have this Cubs thing anyways. But anyways, my keys here, what are they for? What are most of these, well, not most of these, what are some of these keys for? Like this one is used to drive my car. Now, how could keys be used to help the Seymour family? Well, you know what? There are 4 ladies every month who take all these adventure supplies for 62 kids, and they deliver them to all the families that are getting adventure boxes. What a great way to use their hands to show God's love to you guys. These 4 ladies do that every month. Okay, what's this? That's a cell phone, right? How could someone use their hands with their cell phone to show God's love to others? Well, during this pandemic time, when we don't get to see each other as often as we want to, we can get on our phone and we can call somebody up and say, how are you doing today? Or we can, I better quick text Pastor Sean, this is it time to do this video. I can quick text him. Or maybe someone I haven't seen for a really long time. I can FaceTime and see their face and we can talk together. What a wonderful way to use our hands to stay connected with people at church, right? That's a fun way to stay connected. Let's see. Here's an interesting one. What's this? It's a hammer, right? How can a hammer show God's love to the Seymour family? Well, we have custodial members at Seymour that use their hands a lot to keep our church building not just clean, but also fixing some things that need to be fixed, maybe repainting some things that need to be repainted. They snow blow when it's snowing outside, and they're always checking things to make sure everything is running well. And hey, if they have to pound a few nails in somewhere, they do that. Why do they do that? Because they love their Seymour family, and they want to make sure our building is a good and safe place where we can all come together. What a neat way to use your hands to show God's love, right? Let's see, what else? Oh, money. I didn't have much money in my wallet today, but money, how can money be used to show God's love? Well, there are many people in this church that maybe they can't do a lot of physical things to show love for people in our church, but they can give their monies and their offerings to help pay the bills of this church, maybe to help out with people that don't have what they need. We have something called the Benevolence Fund to help people who are needy. Oh, what a neat way to use your hands to put money in the collection plate, or even using your cell phone to give money. That's another fun way of showing God's love by using your hands. Let's see. Oh, here's another one. What's this? This is a card. It's blank on it right now, but how can a card show love to God's family here at church? Well, if someone is sick, I like to get a card and I like to write a nice message to that person and remind them I'm praying for them. Or maybe someone loved one went to heaven and they're a little sad yet, and so I write them a little sympathy card and tell them I'm praying for them. What a swell way to show God's love to our Seymour family. There are a couple ladies at Seymour Church that are so faithful in doing this and sending cards to people who need a card. What a great way to show God's love. Oh, here's a big heavy thing. What is this? This is a casserole dish. How can I use my hands with this casserole dish to show love to God's people here at Seymour Church? Well, I'm not the best cook, but there are a lot of ladies and men at our church that are really good cooks. And if someone needs a meal, they like to use their hands to make a nice big casserole and desserts and stuff and bring it to people who just need a little extra help while they're getting better from being sick or something. So a lot of loving hands make meals for people at our church. That's another good way. I have another thing here. This one's kind of interesting. What's this? This is just a regular old Meyer bag, right? How can my hands and this Meyer bag show love to God's people? Well, maybe some of you know we have something called the Hygiene Pantry where we stock up on toothpaste and toothbrushes and soaps and deodorants and shampoos and diapers and all kinds of things like that for people that don't have the money to get that kind of stuff right now. So I can go to the store and my hands can grab all these things off the shelves and put them in this Meyer bag and then bring them to church so we can use it in our Hygiene Pantry. Another fabulous way of using my hands to show love to God's people. The last thing I have is a pair of gloves. Now, what do these gloves look like? You know what they are? These are gardening gloves. And many of you don't know this, but there are a few people at our church who in the spring and the summer start getting the soil all nice and they buy plants and they put them around our church and maybe some new shrubs, and they want our church to look very nice for the people that come here and for the people in the neighborhood. So that's how they use their hands to show God's love, by making sure our church looks pretty and by making God's creation just look a little bit nicer around here. So I hope you all can understand how important it is to be part of the family of faith and to be using our hands working together to show God's love to each other and to those in our neighborhood. Let's take a moment to pray, shall we? God of love, may our hands be helping hands, working for the good of all people, and especially those in our family of faith here at Seymour. In your precious name we pray. Amen. Now, in your adventure box today, you have a kind of a cardstock shield that looks like this. What is a shield used for? Do any of you know what it's used for? A shield is usually a piece of armor that's worn or carried by a soldier, and you hold it out and it protects against swords or spears coming at you. It's kind of like a protection thing. A lot of you already knew that. But did you know that many shields actually told a story about the person holding it? It would maybe show family emblems or something like that, and maybe something that was important to that person's family. Do you know what words are on your shield? It says, "We are a family of faith." Now, I'm thinking that to make your shield a shield about your family, maybe you need to do some coloring, like or maybe cutting out or something, pictures of your family and putting them in the different sections. I'm going to show you what I did with mine. I did it kind of real quick. So here's what I did for mine. Here's Mr. Skur and me. We're up in the corner because, we are a family of faith, Mr. Skur and me. And I drew kind of a Bible. I don't know if you can tell that's a Bible, but that's a Bible. Now, don't laugh. This is a picture of our church. I did the best I could. I'm sure you guys can draw a church a lot better than I can. And one thing that's important to me in my family of faith is kids singing. Oh, I like that almost more than anything else. So I drew a bunch of kids singing in the corner, colored it all in, and that's my shield of faith, which shows my family and what's important to me. Now, if you really want to get creative, you could bend some cardboard and kind of make a handle here so you can kind of hold it like this, right? So that's up to you guys if you want to do it. Or you can just color it and cut it out and maybe put it on your door so that people who come to your house know that your family is a family of faith. What do you think? Can you do that? So that is our lesson for today, Family of Faith at Seymour. And now get busy with your shields, and we will see you next time.